want to improve, we need to change. We can't keep doing the same things in the same way and expecting an improved outcome. Einstein defined that as crazy. This means we have to institute some behaviour change. Not easy. If it was easy, none of us would be overweight. We would all be able to simply alter our lifestyles and become more healthy. We have to change our thinking about the results we want and how we can achieve them. Welcome back to this weekly edition, every Tuesday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and author of Japan Sales Mastery. We are bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center in Akasaka in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Well, where is this cutting edge? For all of us, the quality of our people is the cutting edge for success in Japan. In this show, I will stimulate your thinking about ramping up your business, bring you insights from the best training organization on the planet, provide you with the highest quality Japan information, motivate you to motivate yourself and motivate those around you, help you to shoot the lights out at results time. I don't want to just help you to succeed in your business. I want you to dominate. Before we get into this week's topic, here is what caught my attention lately. Japan's Sogo Shosho, or big trading houses, are enjoying their best profits in 6 years. They are scouting out investments to employ those profits. They have over 50 billion US or 5.3 billion yen to unleash on global commodity supply chain networks, gas fields in Australia, oil in Iraq, as well as copper and coal assets. What a lot of people don't realize is that these trading companies are also big banks. They provide importers with long payment terms to fight off price competition. You might be a rival importer and your product may be better priced than what it sells for in Japan. But the trading companies can give buyers 120 days or more to pay. The item can be imported, clear customs, go into the distribution system and be sold before the trading house needs to get their money. If you are a domestic importer and trading house client, it is a no-brainer. This is very hard to compete against when you are the little guy from overseas trying to break into the market here. This is episode number 29, and we are talking about be more self-aware. Sore de wa ikimashou. So let's get going. As professionals, how do we grow in our business careers? Academic studies at varsity usually form the platform to which are added other things. On-the-job experience, books, articles, blogs, websites, mentors showing us the shortcuts, cleverer colleagues providing insights and continuing professional development through training are the usual additional learning solutions. One of the issues with the training component is the effectiveness of what is being offered. The classic brand name university week-long residences for executives are limited to the chosen few. What about the majority of our teams? How can we get liftoff across the whole organization? We can't ship everyone off to Harvard for a week. What can we do that is more realistic? In-house training, either delivered internally or externally, and attendance at publicly offered training as well as online training are the main provenance of mass corporate skill building. Online training is relatively inexpensive, easily accessible, and in most cases, rather passive in its approach. The completion rates for typical self-paced learning formats are also extremely low at around about 10%. It's just a bit dull really, so people drop out and lose interest. Classroom delivery led by instructors is still the mainstay for corporate training. Sadly, it is predominantly ineffective in Japan. The team are sent off to training. The HR team, checks the job well done, completed box, and everyone just moves on. Well, what has been retained from the training? Even more importantly, what has been implemented by the participants after the training? What are the consequent performance outcomes from the injection of the new skills picked up at the training? John Wanamaker was famously quoted as saying half of his advertising spend was wasted, but he didn't know which half. For training, it is probably, if it was only 50% being wasted, well, it would probably be time to pop some corks and celebrate. It's much more than that. In most cases, corporate training for adults fails at 3 points. 1, the setup. The pre-training briefing between supervisor and staff is a key intervention to set up the training, set up the learning experience. In Japan, this hardly ever occurs. So staff turn up the training either bewildered or skeptical, or both. We know because we get them in our classes all the time, and they have no idea why they are there because no one has briefed them properly. 2, poor quality delivery. The second breakdown point is in the delivery in the training room by the instructor. I will elaborate on the sins of most instructors in a moment. 3, the sustainment phase. The post-training follow-up is the third area where refresh and reinforcement takes place. In Japan, there is usually no follow-up. If anything was picked up from the training, it wasn't properly reinforced and embedded into the new way of doing things. Training instructors in Japan are often not highly skilled. The company internal instructors are usually the worst because they are not given much opportunity to further develop themselves. The train-the-trainer experience, which supposedly sets them up as professionals, is often a thin, tasteless and weak gruel on which to thrive. They can facilitate the training manual content just. They have no idea how to get behaviour change in the class participants and probably never will because they have never seen that done before. They have a captive internal audience, so they do not have to face the rigours of the competition in the marketplace. They can be incredibly mediocre, but there is no comparison with real professionals, so the sham is allowed to continue. Japanese staff expectations of training are also abysmally low to start off with, so the expectation factor is already very low. Anyway, internal politics within the organisation are often the biggest factor in determining the trainer's career progression. External trainers have to compete in a crowded market. The barriers to entry, however, are set up basically very low to set up your own training shop. Anyone can suddenly emerge from the chrysalis as a butterfly and become a trainer at whim. We see it all the time. For whatever reason, in Japan, there is a bias toward following the university model of instruction, which is to lecture, lecture, lecture. Consequently, the methodology is very much one-way traffic and pretty unexciting. In our modern internet-driven world, access to information is a given, and the lecture-driven format is basically bankrupt. Japanese government bureaucrats will probably catch up with this need for varsity revision sometime in the 22nd century. But business can't wait that long. Some more advanced instructors may have worked out that there is this thing called two-way traffic, and may be inviting the classroom participants to discuss ideas in small groups and maybe even share those ideas with the whole group. Wow, breathtaking thinking. So, what can we do about fixing this broken model? Well, find out more about this when we come back from the break. If you want to become skilled at dealing with people, then sign up for the Dale Carnegie course. Fully road tested for the last 100 years. This course is super popular globally and in Japan too. We've been teaching this for over 50 years here. Improve your ability with people, really ramp up your communication and leadership skills, grow your confidence and end your stress. Contact us to do the Dale Carnegie course now in either Japanese or English. Welcome back, and let's look at how we can get our training really working for us properly. With the best intentions in the world, these half-baked trainers are doing their best, but honestly, in this day and age, it's just not good enough. The B plus do equals get formula takes a different approach. The B focuses on who we are. We need to strip away all the layers we've built up to mask who we really are, and we need to face that reality. This type of training aims at something much more ambitious than is usually offered. It shoots for emotional change in the participant. This is achieved by focusing on our self-awareness about the basics for our thinking, opinions, beliefs, emotions, and insights. Sounds easy, but how many people do you know who you could describe as self-aware? The instructor's skill level must be very high to foster participant self-discovery so that they can own the breakthroughs they achieve. Lecture, by comparison, is easy. This breakthrough achievement goal, however, is seriously hard work. Once we have established that chemical change in the brain through our emotional commitment to doing something new or different, we can move to do. The object here is to engender behaviour change in the what we do. We need to create new habits, fresh ways of working, more depth around our self-awareness about what is possible for us. If we keep doing the same things the same way, well, we're going to get the same results. Einstein noted that this is actually doing something the same, expecting a different outcome, is a great definition for insanity. Einstein would judge many organisations' decisions about training as insane. They keep doing the same things, hoping for improved outcomes. Behaviour change is easy to say, but the post-training blues set in, and the participants return to their workplace and go back to what they have always done. The reality is that, especially in Japan, there is no behaviour change achieved. What was the point of the training apart from ticking the completed box back at HR? The improved outcomes don't arrive. The improved skill sets don't appear. The time and money have been spent with no results and evidence. The reason there is no or little transmission of the new insights into work application is because the training did not address the tactical nuclear weapon in the room. Individuals breaking out from their comfort zones. If all we are doing is receiving a download of data and information, then typically it sails through one ear and rapidly goes out the other. The application stickiness is not there. The course design and the delivery need to have ability to lift participants out of their comfort zone and give them the wherewithal to change their actions, interactions, communication and behaviour to something more effective. Take a good look at how the training is being delivered. Once you understand this comfort zone issue, you will be dissatisfied with what is rolling out. Sitting there and being spoken at by the instructor isn't going to expand your comfort zone at all. Look at the training delivery very closely and ask yourself, where is the comfort zone expansion piece of this delivery? The get pieces of the puzzle are the results: influence, leadership, deeper relationships, higher engagement, the performance change. Taking the knowledge out of our head and getting it into our bodies through practice and repetition is the key to instilling better and permanent learning methodologies in our teams. Lecture and data dump can't deliver these outcomes. The very concept of be, do, get is relatively unknown in a Japan awash in pontification and lecture. Knowing the concepts is only the starting point though. The skill of the instructor to create these emotional changes through leading the participants to higher self-awareness and then to drive the implementation of the new insights requires elaborate skill levels that few training organizations can understand, let alone aspire to. That is why most training in Japan is totally ineffective and a waste of time. Sad, really, but it doesn't have to be like that. Keep pushing hard with us here at the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Subscribe on YouTube. Share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching, and remember to hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now. It's dalecarnegie.com. It's awesome value, so check out their website. In episode 30, we are talking about spellbinding speech endings. Sounds good? Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Until then, create seriously massive levels of success. We are here to help you do that. Dale Carnegie Training Japan has only one direction in mind for you and your business. That is up.